In a world where words lose value and superficiality prevails, some questions arise. Is it possible to prove our worth without speaking? Can we understand the intentions of others beyond words? According to ancient Stoic philosophy, the answer is a firm yes. The Stoics believed courage could be shown through actions, not just words. Join us on a journey of personal growth, where you will learn to recognize your own value and value an example for yourself and others. Stay till the end to gain valuable lessons on overcoming adversity. If you are new here, please subscribe and like the video so I can create more content like this in the future. In this video, we will explore how to understand your worth through the perspective of Stoicism, a philosophy that has stood the test of time. Stoicism is not just about enduring pain, but about recognizing what truly matters in life, especially in relationships. Let's begin this journey with dignity and an open mind. Suppressing your feelings or being indifferent is about knowing where to focus your energy. Let's discuss the importance of carrying yourself with dignity in relationships. Sometimes we try too hard to impress others, changing ourselves in the process. Dressing and speaking a certain way just to gain approval can lead us to lose sight of who we truly are. Your dignity is not determined by your appearance or social status, but by your behavior and decisions. I think of two people on a date at a cafe. One is flashy, trying to impress, while the other is comfortable in their own skin. Who do you think will make a lasting impression? Being genuine and true to yourself is the key to presenting yourself with dignity. Stoics advocate for living with honesty and self-respect. This translates to our modern world by being true to your passions and letting them shine. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not, but about feeling confident in your own skin. It is important to treat yourself with respect, as this sets the standard for how others will treat you. By valuing your time, energy, and emotions, you convey that you deserve respect and expect to be treated accordingly in relationships. It's not just about how you see yourself or what you say, but also about how you respond to others. How you react and behave in different situations shows whether you are acting with desperation or dignity. Are you compromising your values just to fit in, or are you standing your ground even if it means standing alone? It's okay to make mistakes and have embarrassing moments, but it's important how you handle those moments. Do you crumble under pressure, or do you learn from it and hold your head high? One way to show more dignity in our daily interactions is to establish clear and healthy boundaries in our relationships. By communicating firmly but respectfully what we are willing to accept and what we are not, we can protect our emotional integrity and set a standard of mutual respect. Another way is to learn to say no to things that don't align with our values and priorities. This may involve refusing commitments or situations that make us uncomfortable or go against our principles. By recognizing the humanity in each person we encounter and showing empathy for their experiences and feelings, we can build more authentic and meaningful relationships. When we value our own dignity, we project confidence and self-esteem that others perceive. This can influence how we are seen by the external world. How others see and treat us, creating the idea of mutual respect and appreciation for each person's dignity creates a positive cycle. Knowing your own self-worth is important. Many may be tired of hearing about self-esteem, but bear with me. This conversation won't focus on superficial compliments about yourself in the mirror. Stoicism plays a role in understanding one's worth in relationships. Stoics believe that it is crucial to concentrate on what you can control, and self-esteem is entirely within your control. It is not about social media likes or friend requests, but about how you perceive and value yourself. Picture yourself as a precious gem. Not everyone may recognize your value, but that doesn't diminish your uniqueness and worth. In a world where rejection and feelings of inadequacy are common, Stoicism reminds us that our worth is not dependent on others' approval, but on our virtues and actions. Reflect on your qualities, not just superficial attributes such as kindness, resilience, or empathy. Understanding your true worth will change how you engage in relationships, as you will no longer accept disrespect. Instead of doubting yourself when faced with criticism, reflect on your strengths and values. This is not about arrogance, but silently acknowledging your worth. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the power of controlling your mind, not external events, to find inner strength. In relationships, it is essential to value and respect oneself while also appreciating the worth of others. Recognizing and appreciating our own. It is crucial to understand that our value is not only determined by how others perceive us, but also by how we see ourselves. It is important to constantly remind ourselves and practice self-love and confidence every day. When we wake up in the morning, we have the chance to affirm our own worth regardless of what others may think. We must remember that we are valuable and deserving of love and respect. This journey towards self-awareness and self-acceptance helps us realize that our value is not dependent on external opinions, but on our own true essence. Each step in this journey of self-discovery brings us closer to understanding our worth. As we delve into this inner journey, we learn to appreciate our strengths and unique qualities. We discover that our value is not determined by others' validation, but by our own perception of ourselves. Knowing that our worth can be cultivated over time empowers us to take control of our lives and relationships. It liberates us from seeking approval from others and allows us to have unwavering self-esteem and confidence. Ultimately, it is about finding strength in our own worth regardless of others' recognition and understanding that we deserve love and respect for simply being ourselves. When it comes to setting boundaries, it is more important to show rather than just tell. It is one thing to communicate our boundaries to others, but it is another to actually demonstrate them through our actions. Through your actions, think about it. In life, it's easy for anyone to say that they won't accept being treated poorly. However, the real test comes when we are actually faced with such situations. This is when we must decide whether to stick to our boundaries or allow them to be crossed. This is where our true power lies, not just in words, but in actions. It can be hard, especially when emotions are involved, but we must remember the wisdom of the Stoics. They taught us that everything is within our control, including how we react to different situations. When someone crosses a line, it is our reaction that truly defines our boundaries, not just our words. For instance, if we have made it clear that honesty is important to us and someone lies, how we handle that situation speaks volumes. By calmly addressing the issue or stepping away, we show that we take our boundaries seriously. This is not about creating drama, but about respecting ourselves and being respected in a way that aligns with our values. This approach can change the dynamics of relationships. When others see that we have set boundaries and standards that we won't compromise, they understand what we will and will not tolerate. It's about cultivating self-respect and sticking to it. It's not just about major issues, but also about the everyday boundaries. How we react when plans are canceled last minute or when we are taken for granted communicates that certain behaviors are not acceptable. Mindfulness goes beyond just being present in the moment. It involves delving deeply into our experiences, observing our thoughts, emotions, and actions. By being fully aware of the present moment, we can assess whether our actions align with our boundaries and values. It's a continual process of self-evaluation, where we question whether our actions reflect our deepest principles and values. By staying true to ourselves, we maintain authenticity and integrity. Let's do. When faced with pressure from outside sources or societal expectations, we tend to closely analyze each interaction and situation to see if we are being true to ourselves. This prompts us to be aware of our boundaries, recognizing when we are comfortable or compromised, and taking steps to protect our integrity and emotional well-being. It is in everyday moments that our boundaries are truly tested, revealing our true nature and character. Therefore, practicing mindfulness challenges us to be present, aware of our reactions to life's challenges, and to make clearer decisions as we go about our daily lives interacting with others. Approaching personal boundaries from a Stoic perspective means not simply imposing strict rules or being inflexible, but rather following an internal compass that guides our actions based on our values. This allows us to establish healthy boundaries that reflect who we are and what we hold dear in life. Living this way results in others seeing us as individuals who are clear about our boundaries and demand respect for them. This attitude helps us build genuine relationships and boosts our self-esteem and confidence. By living according to our values, we become beacons of integrity and authenticity in a world full of uncertainty. Although restricting access to ourselves may seem old-fashioned or strict, it is about recognizing our own worth and not easily giving ourselves away in a world of instant gratification. Stoicism encourages self-discipline and control, not in a rigid way, but by valuing what truly matters and not wasting it carelessly. In relationships, instead of rushing to reveal everything about ourselves, the Stoic approach suggests taking a step back to truly understand and respect our own value before sharing it with others. Frequently being available reduces its worth due to human behavior. If you are always accessible and say yes to everything, the intrigue and excitement diminish. So let's discuss how to limit availability in a respectable and composed manner. First, it's about how you carry yourself. Dress stylishly yet modestly. It's not just about fashion. It's a declaration that I esteem myself. You're not concealing but also not revealing too much. There needs to be a harmony, a feeling that there's more to you than what meets the eye. In a world where we are always connected, being selective about who receives your time is influential. It's about asserting that my time is precious, and I choose to use it wisely. When you are with someone, be fully engaged, but when you are not, be content with not being reachable as you focus on your own life, interests, and development. Stoicism also teaches us about controlling our emotions. This doesn't mean being apathetic or distant. Instead, it's about staying composed and not letting anything deeply affect you. Remember, limiting access is not about toying with others' emotions or manipulating situations for our benefit. It's a demonstration of self-esteem and consistency with our values. By being more selective in our interactions, more cautious in our decisions, and more measured in our expressions, we find a balance between openness and preserving a part of ourselves. This protects our emotional well-being and self-worth. By following this approach, we are embodying the principles of the Stoics in our modern relationships, establishing clear boundaries and honoring ourselves and others. Reflect our dignity and believing in oneself and behaving confidently is important for how others see and treat us. By valuing ourselves and acting with strength and consistency, we show the world that we deserve respect and consideration. We should focus on what people do, not just what they say, as actions speak louder than words. The Stoics teach us to pay attention to actions because they reveal the truth, rather than being swayed by charming words and empty promises. It's easy to say the right things or what others want to hear, but it's our actions that truly show who we are. Let's be realistic. We've all been in situations where someone says nice things but their actions don't match up. Let's pay more attention to what people do rather than just what they say. Cancel last minute, yet their words hold. In this situation, our inner calm and rational self must step in. Stoicism teaches us not to be influenced by words or emotions, but to look at things logically and realistically. If someone's actions don't match their words, it's a warning sign. It's like the universe telling us to pay attention because something is not right. This change in focus can completely change the way our relationships work. Instead of getting caught up in romantic promises and sweet words, we start paying attention to the small details, how they react in difficult situations, if they follow through on their promises, if they are truly there for us in a tangible way. The most interesting part of this change is that by focusing on actions, we set a standard and send a clear message that we are not just listening to what someone says, but watching what they do. People begin to realize that they can't just use nice words to win a place in our lives. They must show their value and true intentions through consistent actions. This change in perspective allows us to see more clearly and wisely in our relationships. It helps us differentiate between words and actions, leading to more authentic and meaningful connections based on trust and respect. Ultimately, adopting a Stoic mindset in love means being rational, observant, and wise in our interactions. It means understanding that actions speak louder than words when it comes to revealing someone's true feelings and intentions. By committing to this approach, we can build healthier and more fulfilling relationships where the alignment between words and actions is crucial. This philosophy of life we empower. We should work on ourselves to be more aware and informed when making decisions in our relationships. It's important to have a good understanding of reality and to honestly appreciate both ourselves and others. In Stoicism, there is a concept called detachment, which involves recognizing what we can and cannot control. One powerful thing we can control is whether we choose to stay or leave a situation that isn't right for us, including in our relationships. Many of us have been in situations where we know we deserve better, but we stay for various reasons like the fear of being alone, fear of change, or holding on to hope that things will improve. However, real strength lies in recognizing that we have the power to walk away from situations that compromise our values. This doesn't mean giving up at the first sign of trouble, as relationships require effort and commitment. It's about knowing our self-worth so deeply that we are prepared to leave when something goes against it. Being willing to walk away from a situation is an act of self-affirmation and self-compassion. It means having the inner strength and clarity to realize when something isn't aligned with our values and dignity. This process doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be a calm understanding that we deserve better. While facing the unknown can be scary, the teachings of Stoics remind us to embrace challenges with courage and accept that change is a natural part of life. Having the courage to let go of things that no longer serve us opens up opportunities for growth and renewal. By making conscious decisions to honor ourselves, we create space for new experiences and personal development. It's important to remember that walking away from a situation isn't a sign of need or fear, but a choice to prioritize our own well-being, emotional well-being and happiness. But by having the courage to leave what no longer nourishes you, you're taking a step towards a brighter and more satisfying future. You're saying yes to yourself and to the possibilities that await you beyond the known. Therefore, as we reflect on the idea of being prepared to walk away, let us remember that the act of being brave and true to ourselves allows us to welcome new opportunities and experiences in life. It serves as a reminder that we deserve to live life to the fullest and have the ability to create the type of life we desire. As we take a moment to ponder these thoughts while savoring our coffee, let us keep in mind that being ready to walk away from situations does not mean we have to be cold or distant towards others. Instead, it involves showing self-love and respecting ourselves deeply, enabling us to establish and uphold our boundaries and needs. By acknowledging that we deserve better, we are not criticizing others but reaffirming our own value and dignity. Recognizing that we deserve relationships that honor and support us, guiding us towards personal and emotional growth is crucial. Having the courage to walk away from what no longer serves us reaffirms our self-worth and acknowledges our innermost needs. In making this choice, we cultivate the ability to identify negative patterns in our relationships, allowing us to make decisions that promote our long-term well-being and happiness. Therefore, it is important to understand that being prepared to walk away is an act of self-love and a declaration of our commitment to living a genuine and fulfilling life. It serves as a constant reminder that we deserve to be treated with respect and thoughtfulness in all our interactions, demonstrating that we are willing to stand up for ourselves with resolve and determination. In the realm of Stoicism, there is a strong emphasis on personal integrity and having the courage to uphold our principles. This certainly applies to our ability to say no in relationships, as it involves knowing what we stand for and not being afraid to maintain our standards. For instance, if our partner suggests something that goes against our beliefs, it is crucial to have the strength and conviction to assert ourselves. Moving too fast or compromising your values in some way, the easiest option would be to simply go along, but here's where your inner Stoic self must intervene and say no. It's a matter of respecting yourself and your values. I'm not saying this is easy, on the contrary. It can be incredibly difficult. When you truly care about someone, you may often have that nagging feeling in the back of your mind worrying about whether setting boundaries will push them away. However, it is important to have the courage to say no, not only to external challenges but also to internal ones. Saying no is not just about respecting yourself, but also about showing that you value yourself enough to not settle for less than you deserve. If saying no to something that goes against your values causes someone to leave, then perhaps they were not right for you in the first place. This approach can change the dynamics of a relationship significantly. When someone sees that you are not afraid to say no, and that you are not solely focused on pleasing them at the expense of your own values. Their perspective of you changes. It demonstrates that you are someone who respects themselves and values themselves. Refusing something that doesn't align with your values is not just about setting boundaries with others, but also about being honest with yourself. By recognizing what you truly want and not compromising in a relationship, you avoid making decisions that aren't right for you out of fear of loneliness. Saying no is an authentic and assertive action that allows us to establish healthy boundaries and stay true to our core values. It shows that we are living with integrity, as the Stoics taught us, by standing firm in our beliefs and acting in line with our principles. By saying no, we are honoring our genuine needs and desires rather than giving in to external pressures or the demands of others. Setting clear boundaries and expressing our needs honestly helps to cultivate healthier and more meaningful relationships where both parties are valued and respected for who they truly are. In conclusion, let's prioritize self-care and authenticity by confidently saying no when necessary. Remember that it's okay to say no. It's an expression of self-love and an important step towards building authentic and satisfying relationships. By embracing our ability to say no when necessary, we position ourselves in a place of personal power and allow ourselves to live with. When we are honest and genuine in all of our interactions, choosing to decline requests can actually be a freeing experience. It asserts your independence and self-worth by refusing to compromise your beliefs and authenticity simply for the sake of convenience or social approval. By using the power of refusal, you are actively shaping the dynamics of your relationships, setting clear boundaries, and preserving your true self. It signifies prioritizing your own needs and recognizing that your emotional and moral health is just as important as anything else. Moreover, saying no in a polite and firm manner sets expectations for others and encourages open and honest communication. This fosters an environment of trust and mutual understanding, where both parties feel comfortable expressing their boundaries. By knowing when to say no, you not only boost your own self-confidence but also strengthen the relationships around you, establishing a solid groundwork of respect and understanding. In addition, having a healthy dose of skepticism and stoicism can play a key role in maintaining genuine connections. Skeptics and Stoics aim to perceive reality as it truly is rather than conforming to societal expectations. In the context of love and relationships, this outlook prompts us to question assumptions and stay grounded in the truth. Is relevant. We've all heard someone say the words we want to hear as if they were the right ones. We want to believe them, ignoring the warning signs our background is where our inner sense of calm and self-control comes into play. Having a healthy amount of doubt is like having a special ability. It doesn't mean you're negative or distrustful. It's not about being practical or taking everything too seriously. It's about watching, questioning, and not acting impulsively without proper thought. Let's imagine a scenario. You meet someone and you think they're amazing. They're saying all the right things, planning a future together. However, it's only been a short time since you met them. Your calm and rational side would advise you to take things slow and not rush into anything. Let's see if their actions match their words and how things play out. It's like a reality check to remind you not to get carried away by romance. This doubt is not about bombarding the other person with questions or doubting every move they make. It's more about being attentive, listening to what they say, and watching what they do. It's about spending time to truly understand someone, to see if they are consistent and genuine. The Stoics believed in using reason and logic, not just letting emotions dictate their actions, especially in relationships. Finding a balance between our feelings and logical thinking can be a challenge, but it is important. However, by cultivating a little skepticism, we can give space for our rationality to assess situations more objectively and clearly. By maintaining a certain degree of skepticism, we don't allow ourselves to be swept away by the emotional current of the moment, but make decisions grounded in reality and our authentic needs. This allows us to discern between what is beneficial for us and what could pose a threat or obstacle to our emotional well-being. Furthermore, skepticism offers us the opportunity to protect our hearts from potential disappointments or emotional harm by not rushing into situations. In order to truly understand and connect with others, it is important that we take the time to carefully assess the situation. Instead of immediately putting up walls around our hearts, we should cautiously open doors and approach new relationships with a hint of skepticism. This will help us to remain alert and in touch with our emotions while still being able to explore new connections with a clear mind and protected heart. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us the importance of embracing imperfections in life. By tuning into the essence of existence and accepting reality with serenity and acceptance, we can flow with the natural rhythms of the universe. This mindset can be especially relevant when it comes to matters of love, as it reminds us that both ourselves and our loved ones are imperfect beings. Rather than seeking perfection in others or ourselves, we should embrace imperfections as a fundamental part of being human. By valuing authenticity over appearances and finding beauty in vulnerability and sincerity, we can create space for mutual growth and genuine connections. Through practicing acceptance and understanding, we can cultivate strong and meaningful relationships built on compassion and genuine connection. Connection and mutual support are fundamental mental pillars instead of fighting against reality or trying to shape others according to our desires. We learn to adapt and flow with the circumstances that present themselves to us, finding a deep sense of peace and satisfaction in the present moment. By practicing acceptance, we recognize and embrace both our own imperfections, and when we recognize that, like ourselves, others are also human beings with limitations, it becomes easier to accept that mistakes and challenges are natural in relationships. Instead of judging ourselves or others, we can choose to be compassionate and understanding. It is important to realize that everyone is trying their best with the tools and resources they have at the moment. This understanding encourages us to empathize with others' experiences and struggles, acknowledging that each person has their own unique story, wounds, and motivations. By making an effort to see things from their perspective with compassion and empathy, we can strengthen the connections and trust in our relationships. Creating an environment of mutual support and unconditional understanding is essential in building authentic and meaningful relationships where love and connection can flourish naturally. By embracing reality and flowing with circumstances, we can experience deep satisfaction and fulfillment in our relationships. This allows love to thrive in its purest form. In essence, Stoicism encourages us to accept reality as it is and find beauty and meaning in every experience, including loving relationships. Practicing acceptance, understanding, and compassion helps us nurture genuine connections and mutual support in our relationships. The principle of not chasing aligns with Stoic teachings, emphasizing the importance of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. This philosophy is particularly powerful when applied to relationships. Instead of chasing after someone who is pulling away, it is essential to value ourselves and our self-respect. It is futile to try to force a connection when the other person is not reciprocating. Practicing this principle helps us maintain our own worth and authenticity in relationships. In an attempt to fill that gap, however, this is where Stoic lessons come in. Stoics would say, wait, why chase after something that's not under your control? What happened to your dignity, self-respect, and peace of mind? Chasing after someone who is pulling away is like trying to hold water between your fingers. It's ineffective and leaves you feeling empty. However, the key is in having the courage to let go of what doesn't serve us, making room for. Choosing not to pursue or chase after something is like removing the mess to create room for clarity and freshness. Even though it might be difficult to distance ourselves from what doesn't nourish us, it's an act of self-love and authenticity. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes staying strong in our self-worth. If someone is distancing themselves, it's important to let them go. This doesn't mean being cold or uncaring, but rather understanding that we can't control how others feel or act. We can only control how we react. It's a challenge that requires a lot of inner strength to resist the urge to change or give in. By focusing on ourselves and our own lives instead of chasing after others, we attract people who appreciate our strength and confidence. By valuing ourselves, we send a message to others that we are worthy. In relationships, it's important to prioritize self-respect and focus on what we can control. Finding inner peace and validation from within is key. We have the power to choose how we respond to the world around us. We are responsible for maintaining our own dignity and self-esteem. It takes courage and self-awareness to trust in our own worth regardless of how others treat us. This empowerment comes from within, not from external sources. By embracing a non-chasing attitude, we practice detachment, a concept valued in Stoic philosophy. This allows us to let go of unrealistic expectations and accept reality as it is. It's a way to free ourselves from seeking validation from others and recognizing our intrinsic self-worth. It's about affirming our dignity and refusing to rely on external relationships for validation. Instead, we focus on our own worth and hold ourselves accountable for our actions, boundaries, and choices. This is how we demonstrate our courage and worth through our behavior, not just our words. Flow more easily with life's changes, and when we face challenges in our relationships, it can be helpful to let go of the need to have control over what happens. This can create more space for freedom and peace within ourselves as we align with Stoic principles of acceptance and equality. Choosing not to pursue someone who is moving away from us can help us show self-respect and self-love, rather than putting ourselves through the pain of chasing after them. This is a way of setting boundaries and acknowledging our emotional needs, as we understand that we deserve to be treated well. By stepping back from situations that do not value or nourish us emotionally, we establish a healthier dynamic in our relationships. This allows the other person to have their own freedom and autonomy, laying a strong foundation for a genuine and meaningful connection. Instead of suffocating our partner with our expectations, we give them space to be themselves and strengthen our emotional bonds. Practicing non-chasing also means respecting each person's individual journey. recognizing that everyone grows and develops at their own pace. By showing compassion and empathy towards others, and trusting in the natural flow of life, we can find opportunities for growth and learning as we cultivate relationships built on unconditional love. This concept, central to Stoic philosophy, involves valuing the intrinsic worth of every person regardless of their actions or circumstances, both towards others and towards ourselves. Commit to accepting and valuing who we are with all our virtues and flaws. This entails cultivating a relationship of compassion and acceptance for ourselves, freeing ourselves from excessive self-criticism and negative judgment. Furthermore, unconditional love for others goes beyond simply showing empathy and compassion for their experiences and struggles. It also means accepting people as they are without trying to change them or judge them for their actions, or making decisions to be there for others in their times of need involves more than just offering a shoulder to cry on. It requires creating a genuine and deep connection with those around us. This means actively listening to them, understanding their concerns and fears, and providing the necessary support, even if it means stepping out of our comfort zone. By showing unconditional support, we not only demonstrate empathy and compassion for others, but also strengthen our relationships. Committing to being there for each other builds lasting bonds based on mutual respect and trust. Unconditional support is not only needed during crises, but also during times of triumph and celebration. By sharing in the joy of others' successes, we demonstrate solidarity and camaraderie, further strengthening our bonds with those around us. A key aspect of unconditional love is learning to forgive and let go of resentment or bitterness towards those who may have hurt or disappointed us. Forgiveness involves recognizing our own humanity and that of others, understanding that everyone makes mistakes and faces challenges. It doesn't mean justifying the actions of others, but rather freeing ourselves from the emotional burden of resentment and allowing ourselves to move forward with compassion and inner peace. Practicing unconditional love and forgiveness not only strengthens relationships but also promotes personal growth and evolution. By choosing to forgive and love unconditionally, we release ourselves from the weight of resentment and bitterness, making space for significant personal growth. This allows us to accept others as they are, flaws and all, showing compassion and empathy even when they have hurt us. It opens the door to deeper reconciliation and understanding. Forgiveness helps us release the past, move forward with clarity and inner peace, and leave behind resentment. It closes painful chapters and allows us to embrace new experiences and opportunities for love and connection. In summary, practicing unconditional love and forgiveness leads to healthier relationships and emotional healing, and more meaningful relationships based on mutual acceptance, respect, and personal growth, offering us the opportunity to experience a deeper and more enriching connection with ourselves and others, and to live a fuller and more satisfying life. 10. Don't completely center your life around another person. In today's society, we often fall into the trap of putting others on a pedestal. When we lose our way in love, we should remember that forging our own path can make us stronger. No one can hurt us without our permission, so it's important not to let others control us. This quote reminds us that we are responsible for our own inner peace and emotional well-being. In a world full of criticism and judgments, we have the power to choose how we react. Taking ownership of our thoughts and feelings requires self-reflection and being true to ourselves without worrying about what others think. By following this Stoic principle, we become masters of our destiny and our self-esteem grows, making us more valuable to others. When faced with challenges and negativity, it's important to remember that no one can harm us without our permission. This philosophy encourages us to stand by our beliefs and values, even in intimate relationships. Applying this idea to romantic relationships means ensuring that our relationship reflects our deepest values, such as honesty and trust. It's essential to have open communication and transparency in our relationship to stay true to ourselves and maintain our self-respect. Reflecting on our values and how they shape our relationship can help us navigate challenges and criticism with strength and authenticity. Mutual respect and equality. We must ensure that our interactions with our partner reflect these principles. Making decisions based on our values also means being true to ourselves even when we face challenges or external pressures. When we commit to being true to our beliefs in a romantic relationship, it may require us to make tough choices. These decisions could involve setting clear boundaries or even ending a relationship that does not align with our moral standards. By living in line with our values, we are setting the stage for a deep and lasting connection with our partner. This dedication not only strengthens our own sense of honesty and honor, but it also helps to foster an atmosphere of trust, respect, and growth in the relationship. Matching our behaviors and choices with our values allows us to act in a way that is consistent with what we hold dear in life and in how we relate to our partner. For instance, if we value loyalty, we will make an effort to be faithful and reliable in the relationship. If generosity is important to us, we will look for ways to selflessly support and care for our partner. This harmony between our values and our actions creates an air of authenticity and sincerity in the relationship, where our partner sees us as individuals of integrity and trustworthiness, thus strengthening the bond between us. Furthermore, when we act in accordance with our values, it can serve as an inspiration for our partner to do the same. This shared commitment to living by our values promotes mutual growth and deepens the understanding between both parties. Living according to our values also helps us tackle the challenges and conflicts that may arise in the relationship. When faced with tough situations, turning to our values can provide guidance on making ethical and constructive choices, helping us to address issues in a respectful manner, and avoiding compromising our principles or acting impulsively. In the end, living according to our values not only enhances our own happiness and well-being, but it also enriches the connection with our partner. By building together on a foundation of integrity and mutual respect, we can create a stable and fulfilling relationship that endures and blossoms over time. Over time, 11 virtue practicing virtue in a romantic relationship involves much more than simply acting with honesty, loyalty, compassion, and respect towards our partner. It's about committing to being the best versions of ourselves in every aspect of our shared life. Virtue invites us to deepen honesty, which goes beyond transparency and communication. It means being authentic in our when we interact with others. It is important to recognize both our strengths and areas where we can improve. By doing this, we create an atmosphere of trust in which both parties can grow and develop freely. Loyalty in a healthy relationship goes beyond just emotional and physical fidelity. It also involves a deep commitment to supporting and being present for our partner in all circumstances. This means being there for them in difficult times, offering support, and working together to overcome challenges. Compassion, as a part of virtuous behavior, encourages us to empathize with our partner's perspectives and emotions, fostering a relationship based on mutual respect and support. In such a relationship, it is not only important to recognize and appreciate our partner's value as an individual, but also to encourage their personal and professional growth. This can be achieved by actively listening to their thoughts and concerns, seeking to understand their point of view, and making decisions together for the benefit of both partners. Additionally, expressing gratitude and appreciation for our partner's contributions strengthens the emotional bond between us. Ultimately, respect is crucial in a virtuous relationship as it forms the foundation for a strong and fulfilling partnership where love and understanding can thrive. By practicing virtue in a romantic relationship, we are committing to living by high moral and ethical standards, fostering honesty, loyalty, compassion, and mutual respect, and building a solid groundwork for a harmonious relationship. Authentic and lasting connection. Allowing others to invest in you is recognizing your uniqueness and worth. It's not just about your presence in someone else's life, but about becoming a very important and necessary aspect of their world. Is the recognition that things that are easily obtained are often not valued as much. True appreciation comes from the effort and dedication someone puts into your life. This creates a stronger and longer-lasting relationship. Instead of seeking attention or love desperately, it is better to show that you are a valuable and enriching presence in others' lives, deserving of genuine interest. Allowing others to invest in you gives them the chance to make your presence something they treasure. The words of the philosopher Seneca ring true here. A gem cannot be polished without friction, and a person cannot be perfected without challenges. The essence of your worth is not just in existing, but in being sought after and earned. The story of Alexander the Great and his teacher Aristotle showcases the value of a good teacher-student relationship, going beyond the usual conventions. Aristotle was not only a tutor to Alexander, but also a vital source of knowledge and strategic thinking for leading an empire. Alexander, known for his ambition and intelligence, realized the importance of Aristotle's teachings and dedicated a lot of time and effort to learn from him. In conclusion, we have examined 11 core principles for creating healthy and meaningful relationships in this video. We have discovered that practicing unconditional love influenced by Stoic philosophy teaches us to let go of things we can't control, leading to inner peace and authenticity. Additionally, by living authentically, we can inspire others to do the same. According to our values, we strengthen not only our own integrity, but also our partner to do the same, promoting mutual growth and deeper understanding. Allowing others to invest in us, recognizing our uniqueness and worth, creates bonds of trust and respect. Enriching the shared. Embarking on a journey to cultivate virtues in a romantic relationship involves more than just being honest and loyal. It requires a dedication to personal growth and providing mutual support that builds a strong foundation for a lasting connection. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we can learn to find a balance, face challenges with composure, and develop a deep connection with ourselves. This approach helps create genuine, fulfilling, and significant relationships that not only shape our interactions with others, but also empower us to take control of our own happiness and fulfillment. By incorporating these principles into our daily lives, we have the potential to transform not only our relationships but also ourselves, leading us towards a richer and more rewarding existence. True growth comes from continuous reflection and consistent practice of these principles, paving the way towards a more authentic and meaningful life. As we come to the end of this journey, I want to express my gratitude for your companionship and dedication during this video. I hope that the reflections and insights shared here have been enriching and inspiring for you, offering a new perspective on relationships and personal growth. It is important to remember that relationships are an ongoing process of learning and growth, with each experience contributing to our maturity and development. If you have made it this far, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments and commit to applying these principles in your own life. This interaction will help us strengthen our connection and reaffirm our mutual dedication to personal and interpersonal growth. May you incorporate these valuable principles into your daily routine, fostering authentic and meaningful relationships and living with purpose and fulfillment in every moment. Thank you once again for your presence, and I look forward to our next video together.